Many people think that the only way to live to 100 is to work out every day, push your body to its limits, and stick to strict fitness plans. But what if that's not the key at all? Could it be that the real key to living a long life has nothing to do with hard workouts and everything to do with something much easier? Centenarians are people who live to be 100 years old or more. Studies of them show that movement is important, but how you live your daily life is more important. This video shows 5 powerful habits that have been linked to living a very long time. These habits have all been studied in populations that live the longest. These aren't hard-to-follow diets or complicated workout plans. Instead, they are simple, natural habits that will help your health over time. This information is something you can't miss if you want to improve your chances of living a long and happy life. Wait until the end, because you might be surprised by some of these habits. You don't have to train for marathons or spend hours at the gym to do them, but you do have to change how you think about your health, your relationships, and your mind. Before we start, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. You won't miss a video that way. Please rate the video with a like if you liked it and a 0 if you didn't like it in the comments. Thanks for your ideas. It will help me make better videos for you. We can start now. Number 1, putting strong social connections first. The strength of your social connections is one of the most important but little-known factors in how long you live. Many people think that what you eat or how much you exercise is the most important thing that will help you live longer. However, research shows that people who have close, meaningful relationships tend to live longer than those who are alone. It's not enough to have acquaintances or casual friendships. You need to keep close, emotionally supportive ties with family, friends, and people in your community. Connecting with other people isn't just good for the heart mentally, it's also good for the heart physically. People's bodies go into a state of chronic stress when they feel alone or disconnected. Cortisol, the hormone that controls the fight or flight response, goes up because of this stress. Over time, high levels of cortisol can lead to swelling, high blood pressure, and even a weaker immune system. Individuals who strongly feel like they belong and serve a purpose, on the other hand, tend to be less stressed, have better heart health, and even stronger immune systems. Scientists who study the world's longest living communities, which are sometimes called blue zones, have found that almost all of the people who live to be 100 years old have one thing in common. They have strong social networks. Take the case of George, who is 84 years old. He lost his wife when he was in his late 70s and began to spend more time alone. He thought at first that feeling tired, avoiding big groups, and keeping conversations short was just a part of getting older. But over time, he started to feel more worn out, lost interest in his usual hobbies, and even got high blood pressure. A neighbor asked George to join a group of retired veterans who met once a week. At first, George wasn't sure if he wanted to go, but in the end, he agreed. Within a few months, he had more energy, less stress, and his doctor could tell that his overall health was getting better. Studies have shown that people with strong social ties have a 50% higher chance of living longer than people who don't have many friends or family. Being lonely has the same level of risk as smoking or being overweight, but it's not often talked about as a major health factor. People in many traditional cultures often live past the age of 100. These cultures have multi-generational households, close-knit communities, and daily social interactions that keep people mentally and emotionally active. These relationships aren't just for fun, they protect you from the problems that come with getting older. Even if you don't have a lot of friends, having a few close ones can make a difference. Having a few close, supportive friends is better than having a bunch of shallow acquaintances. The goal is to make socializing a normal part of daily life, whether that means getting back in touch with old friends, joining a local club, or just making it a habit to talk to your neighbors. You are more likely to be healthy and live longer if you feel connected to other people. It's not true that the people you're close to don't affect your health. One of the best and most natural ways to live longer is to put strong relationships first. Getting involved with other people, whether it's through family, friends, or the community, can make a huge difference in not only how long you live, but also how well you live. The second thing is to eat naturally and in moderation. Extreme dieting or counting calories isn't something that most people who live to 100 do. Instead, they eat naturally and whole foods in moderation. Many people think that the key to living a long life is to follow strict meal plans or cut out whole food groups. The truth is much simpler. Centenarians all over the world don't necessarily adhere to a strict diet, but they do eat mindfully, eat fresh, unprocessed foods, and frequently stop eating before they feel full. This method isn't about limits, it's about balance. A fascinating pattern seen in long-lived groups is the 80% rule, which says that people should stop eating when they feel about 80% full. This is done in places like Okinawa, Japan. This small change makes it possible for the digestive system to work better without adding too many calories to the body. Inflammation and a higher risk of diseases like diabetes and heart disease are caused by overeating, which makes the body work harder. Eating until you're satisfied, not stuffed, on the other hand, makes your body less stressed, speeds up your metabolism, and helps you live longer and healthier. Let's look at Ruth, who is 82 years old. She had always eaten 3 big meals a day and pretty much always finished everything on her plate. Ruth made some small changes after moving in with her daughter, who had studied nutrition and how to live a long life. It helped her lose weight that she ate fewer processed foods, more vegetables, and slightly smaller portions. Within a few months, she felt lighter, had more energy, and even noticed that her digestion was better. Not a big change, just a shift in how I thought and what I did. Food quality is also a big part of living a long life, along with watching how much you eat. Most people who live past 100 don't eat a lot of processed foods or foods with artificial ingredients. They eat lots of fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and healthy fats instead. A lot of them also eat plant-based proteins along with fish or lean meats in small amounts. It's not about giving up certain foods completely. It's about making natural, nutrient-dense foods the base of every meal. When you eat is another important factor. A lot of centenarians eat their biggest meals early in the day, so their bodies have time to digest and rest at night. Eating late at night has been linked to metabolic problems, weight gain, and bad sleep, all of which can make you age faster. On the other hand, people who eat their last meal earlier in the evening and let their bodies fast overnight tend to have better digestion, more stable energy levels, and healthier aging in general. The emotional and social connection to food may be the most overlooked part of eating to live longer. Eating together, sharing meals with loved ones, and taking your time with food are all important parts of many cultures that people live long. This practice not only makes relationships stronger, but it also helps control portion sizes and encourages eating more slowly and with more awareness, both of which are good for digestion and health in general. If you want to live longer, you shouldn't go on a strict diet or stop eating the foods you enjoy. It's better to eat in moderation, pick whole foods over processed ones, and watch how much and when you eat. Small changes that you can keep up can have a big effect on your health in the long run without making you feel limited. How well you deal with stress is one of the most underrated things that affects how long you live. There will always be some stress in your life, but long-term stress is one of the main causes of early aging, heart disease, and a weak immune system. They have learned to deal with life's challenges without letting stress hurt their bodies in the long term. But people who live to be 100 are still susceptible to stress. One of the best things you can do for your health is to learn how to deal with stress better. You can do this through relaxation techniques, daily routines, or just changing the way you think to be calmer. When stress lasts for a long time, it sets off the body's fight-or-flight response. This causes cortisol levels to rise, inflammation to get worse, and a greater chance of getting health problems like high blood pressure, digestive problems, and even memory loss. An important trait of many people who live to be 100 is that they don't let stress get the best of them. They choose to live their lives more slowly and mindfully instead of reacting with fear or anger. This doesn't mean they don't have problems. It just means they've learned to deal with them without letting stress take over. Take the case of Leonard, who is 80 years old. He had worked as an executive for most of his career, always having to deal with tight deadlines, long hours, and tough situations. He continued to feel tense after retirement because he was concerned about money, family, and health. He noticed a difference when he started to be more mindful by going for walks in the morning, taking deep breaths, and just focusing on the present moment. While his blood pressure stayed the same, he slept better and felt a sense of peace that had been missing for decades. Taking care of stress isn't an afterthought in the cultures where people live the longest. It's part of everyday life. A lot of people who are 100 years old do things to relax, like deep breathing, meditation, or prayer. Some people relax by doing simple things like gardening, knitting, or even having afternoon tea with friends. These small habits may not seem important, but they are very important for lowering stress and staying healthy in general. Setting up a daily routine that includes times of silence is one of the best ways to lower your stress. Finding a way to reset the mind can have a big impact on how long you live. It could be taking time to think in the morning, relaxing with a good book at night, or just learning to let go of worries that aren't necessary. As it turns out, people who do daily relaxation exercises tend to have lower rates of inflammation, stronger immune systems, and even a lower risk of getting dementia. Having a positive view of life is also very important. A lot of centenarians have one thing in common. They don't focus on the bad things in life. They don't think about what they've lost or what might go wrong. Instead, they are thankful for the little things and find joy in them. This change in attitude is good for more than just your mental health. It also has a direct effect on your body, lowering stress hormones, making your heart healthier, and even making you stronger overall. In case stress has been a constant part of your life, there's still time to make a change. You don't have to make big changes to your life to learn how to deal with stress well. All you have to do is make small, conscious choices every day that give your body and mind a break. One of the most important things you can do to live a longer, healthier life is to lower your stress. You can do this by being more mindful, relaxing, or changing the way you look at things. Number 4, keeping your mind active and learning new things all the time. Not only how well you take care of your body, but also how well you take care of your mind is a strong indicator of how long you will live. A lot of people who live to be 100 keep their minds active by learning new things and giving their brains challenges that keep them sharp. It's not about going to school or solving hard equations. It's about staying curious, finding new things to interest you, and keeping your brain active well into old age. Just like muscles get weaker when they're not used, the brain can get worse if it's not used often. One of the biggest worries for older people is cognitive decline. Some memory loss is normal, but studies show that people who keep learning throughout their lives have much lower rates of dementia and cognitive impairment. Keeping the brain active makes neural connections stronger, boosts mental toughness, and slows down the decline that comes with getting older. This is why a lot of centenarians still have hobbies, read books, learn new skills, or even take on new challenges like learning to speak a new language or play an instrument. Take Eleanor, who is 85 years old and has worked as a teacher her whole life. She fell into a routine that didn't challenge her mind after she retired. She did the same things every day, like watch TV, do housework, and repeat activities. Over time, she began to have short-term memory loss and trouble focusing. She decided to make a change because she was worried about losing her mind. She started doing crossword puzzles every morning, joined a book club in her area, and even took an online history class. She felt more interested, awake, and connected to the world around her after a few months. It doesn't have to be hard to keep the brain active. Small, regular efforts can make a big difference. A lot of people who are 100 years old swear by simple things they do every day, like playing chess, learning new recipes, or even having deep conversations with friends. It's important to keep the brain active by giving it new things to think about and process. Just like exercise makes the body strong, mental exercise makes the brain work at its best. Avoiding mental stagnation is another important thing that can help keep your brain healthy. People whose minds start to fade more quickly often get stuck in rigid routines, stop learning new things, or avoid stimulating conversations. On the other hand, people who are open to new things like visiting a new place, taking up a new hobby, or even debating an interesting subject, keep their minds sharp and flexible. Having friends and family around also helps keep your brain healthy. Conversations require quick thinking, remembering things, and being aware of your feelings, all of which improve brain function. Because of this, centenarians who stay socially active tend to have slower mental decline than those who stop interacting with others. Socializing keeps the brain working in ways that keep it from getting old, whether it's through talking about current events, telling stories from the past, or just joking around. The main point is that you should always be learning if you want to live a long and mentally healthy life. One of the best things you can do for your long-term health is to keep your brain active. You can do this by taking up a new hobby, reading about things that interest you, or just having more interesting conversations. Curiosity is good for the mind, and the more you feed it, the stronger it stays. Number 5, having a clear daily plan and a strong sense of purpose. People who live past 100 mostly have one thing in common. They have a strong sense of purpose. This is more important than having a perfect diet, a strict exercise routine, or even access to the best medical care. Many centenarians around the world have a clear reason for living every day. Whether it's taking care of their family, helping their community, or just enjoying the little things in life. It's not just a nice idea that having a sense of purpose can help you live longer, be less stressed, and have better heart health. People's bodies handle stress in different ways when they have a sense of purpose. Their cortisol levels are lower, they sleep better, and they generally have healthier habits. Studies have shown that people who have a strong sense of purpose in life are much less likely to get chronic diseases, be depressed, or lose their mental abilities. Losing your sense of purpose, on the other hand, is more likely to happen to people who are older or who have gone through major changes in their lives. Not only does having something to look forward to every day make you feel good, it also keeps your body healthy. Take the case of Frank, who is 87 years old. He was having a hard time finding his identity after he stopped working as a carpenter. He was bored, uncertain, and even a little lost because he didn't have any work to do. Things changed, though, when his granddaughter asked him to show her how to make simple furniture out of wood. Frank started spending the mornings in his workshop teaching others what he knew and how to do it. There was a shift right away. He got his energy back, his mood got better, and even his doctor saw changes for the better in his health. Having something important to do was more important than staying busy. This idea is often a part of everyday life in the cultures where people live the longest. You can find people with ikigai in Okinawa, Japan. They have a strong sense of purpose that keeps them going even as they get older. In Sardinia, Italy, many people who are 100 years old still work in their gardens, take care of their animals, or help their younger family members. What matters is not the task itself, but how they feel about what they do. Being purpose-driven keeps the brain active, lowers feelings of loneliness, and is good for your physical and mental health. Along with having a purpose, having a daily routine is another important thing that affects how long you live. A lot of centenarians have structured, regular routines that make their lives feel more stable. Having simple daily rituals, like getting up at the same time every day, or doing light activities helps keep the body's natural rhythms in balance. Having a regular schedule can help you feel less stressed, sleep better, and even digest food better, all of which can help you live longer and healthier. Another part of routine that is often forgotten is how important it is to move around during the day. Many people think that to live a long time, you have to do a lot of intense exercise. But centenarians don't usually go to gyms or work out until they're completely exhausted. Instead, they move around naturally by doing things like walking to see friends, taking care of gardens, or just doing their daily tasks. This method keeps the body strong without the stress of high-impact workouts. This shows that how often you move is more important than how much you exercise. In the end, if you want to live a long and happy life, find something that gives you meaning. It could be a hobby, a role in your family, or even just a reason to get up in the morning. Having a sense of purpose can make you live longer. When you combine that with a regular, doable routine, you build a base for your physical and mental health. Not only is living to 100 about staying healthy, but it's also about having a reason to keep going every day. As this video comes to a close, take a moment to think about these 5 strong habits that can make your life longer and healthier. It's not about going to the gym for hours on end or following crazy diets. It's about making small, long-term decisions that add up over time. People who live the longest don't just take care of their bodies. They also make sure they have strong relationships, deal with stress, keep their minds sharp, and feel like they have a purpose every day. What did you notice most? Which one of these habits do you already have? Which one do you think you could improve? For things to last a long time, consistency is more important than perfection. Simple changes like staying in touch with friends and family, eating mindfully, keeping your brain active, and having a strong sense of purpose can make a huge difference in how long you live and how well you live it. Please get in touch with us. Tell us what you learned today and how you're going to use it in your life in the comments below. We care about what you think, so don't be shy about telling us. We feel very motivated and encouraged when we read your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it and found it useful. Thanks for your support. It lets us keep making good content for you to learn from and be inspired by. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.